Hello friends, and welcome back to Dyson's video program. The Mecha and I have a big episode installed today. Yesterday's one ran a little long. Hopefully the time management on this is a bit less ambitious, and we'll actually be able to keep it under 30 minutes. I have gone ahead, by the way, and collected up a few more resources, just picking up some rocks. I threw down like a bajillion more wind turbines. You can kind of see the grid is looking a little bit more like a pincushion than it did before. In fact, across this ocean, we have like this, when you think about the planetary scale, like this is literally a continent just covered in wind farms. That's kind of insane. But yes, the planet is looking a little prickly, but you know what? We are very good for power. We are generating 153 megawatts, around 30 or so are coming from this, so the rest of that is all like just renewable energy, which is really, really good. The one thing we're really struggling for now is our own personal energy. It's very low. So something we need to upgrade to improve that is this thing over here, the energy circuit. This is kind of the speed at which you can convert fuel to energy. This will give us an extra 0.2 megawatts per second of conversion, which it doesn't sound like much, but it really does add up quite quickly. In order to do that, we're going to not need this, we're going to need smelting purification, so we can get this energetic graphite stuff, because that is one of the required resources. Now, I also, speaking of research, kind of want to focus down on research today. We want to produce blue science at a pretty severe rate. Like, this little dinky setup over there is fine for the early game, but we want to start transitioning to mid-game fairly soon. We're still quite far away from it, but it would be nice to get on that ball. To that effect, I have set up some miners and some smelters. We are making 12 per second copper plate, 6 per second magnets, and 6 per second iron ingots. We now want to turn those into 6 per second of electric circuits and the other good stuff. Actually, haven't I got a blueprint of this already? Or like isn't there something I can blueprint with this? Let's do a full build. We'll do a 6x6 build. I will move this over as we need to. And we're gonna blueprint this. This is gonna be the plan. This is gonna be a 2-in, 1-out build. The Dyson Sphere program kind of has several, I want to say, meta sort of build dynamics. One of them is that you have either 2 or 3 resources in and 1 resource out, right? So magnetic coils are 2 resources in, 1 out. Electric motors are 3 resources in, 1 out. And so you can kind of standardize your build a bit, as long as you're building the same thing in one column. So we're going to pretend like we're building one thing. This will actually be used to make 2. But we are going to pretend like we're building one thing right now. We'll have an input there. This will be a... Oh, I mean, we can't do it the way I want to, but we can make the template so long anyway. That'll be so we input on either side so that it's nice and close, and output in the middle. It'll be a shared output. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then let's just designate that these are inputs using our traditional stampable method. So we're going to want 2 excess on either side, and then on this side we do the opposite. We shorten that down a bit, right? And we do 2 excess on the output. And just make sure, is that going to be tileable? Do I need to go? Does it need to be 3 excess? It's been a couple minutes since I last played. Oh, thank you for the research, as I was planning. I'm looking now, and I'm thinking... That's actually completely fine. So if I stamp that, yeah, it'll just stamp. Okay. And this, we won't use it for the science now because this is way overbuilt for what we're trying to do, but this will be the template we work off of. So this will have an insert there and an insert there. It'll have, and now the central bit's the part that you gotta kind of like finagle a bit. So we're gonna output here, which means we have space to input there. We're gonna output there, which means we have space to input there. And then that's going to get stamped all the way down. Did that copy? Oh, it just didn't make the noise. It did. Okay. And you're going to get stamped all the way down there. And then again, we're going to leave this here for copy and paste ability. Doesn't technically need that spot. That's okay. All right. Very nice. And then we're going to blueprint this. This will be our 2-in, 1-out standard template. I want to make sure there's no errors with it, so we've got our arrows going in, out, out, in, and this one should be in. Awesome. All right, let's copy it. But we're not actually going to use this right now. This was a bit of a red herring. Sorry about that, because this won't actually work for what we're trying to do. Let me make this a bit bigger. Clear out. Very cool. Right, so what we're actually going to want to do for this one is, because we're not outputting the same resource for each, we're going to need to do a double lane. So we're going to have 6 units there, and we need 4 spaces between. 6 units there. It's going to be very similar visually, but this is probably the only time we're going to do it like this. That'll come in like that, and I suppose that can just be copper then for ease. Why am I taking out iron? That was not what I meant to be doing. Can you please take that iron off my hands? Thank you. Okay, cool. And I see we have finished the energetic graphite research, so we do need to move that over in a second. So this is going to come in. That'll be copper. This one will be for the circuits. Why not? This one can be for the magnetic coils. So I think what we're going to do is just raise this copper up a level, and then it can come down. That way all my stuff can just fit in underneath. I suppose for symmetry we can like this. Alright, link that up. Thank you. And then our 2 outputs will come out the center. Bonk. This we're not going to blueprint because it doesn't need to be blueprinted. This is a one-off thing. You will be making coils, you will be making circuits, and this is all going to get turned into blue science. Alright, now, we're going to use this little pile of resources we've created here, and I think we're going to buffer it just to be sort of good practice, right? I think we should buffer everything that we want to be consumed, especially stuff that's not going to be consumed necessarily consistently. You know, we don't need to worry about if this is producing 24/7. It's more important that it's kind of just producing whenever it needs to produce. We'll use some old ass inserters for this, I think. That'll be fine. Oh, wrong way around. Can you come back? Thank you. You're gonna come out. Alright, nice. And we probably don't need to double stack it though, that's a bit excessive. Okay, now let's slap down our research plants. This is going to be the simplest part of the whole thing. Matrix Labs. How do I want to do this? I think I'm going to stick you right over here. We'll build you 3 tall. And I want 12 of you, so that's going to be 4 stacks. There we go, and they should be able to consume 6 per second from this belt. Go like this, go like this. You might even be able to run this a bit bigger. Of course, that is the problem with using buffers, is you never actually know if you're consuming at the rate you want to. Oh, and I've made a mistake. It's actually quite a bit simpler to do it like this. You set up the inserters first, and then do your copy pasting of the recipe. Plus, we're also going to want an output line, and I like to run my science to the poles, just because it looks cool as hell. And I think we'll do everything on the blue, the North Pole. Alright, you'll see what I mean in a second. It's a really expensive way to do it, like belt-wise. Probably don't need to do this, but I have 4,500 of them, and there's another like 8,000 at the base. We have certainly produced enough belts. Let that be clear. And then you're going to output your blues onto here. I think blues are also going to get buffered, but we will not do a full chest buffer. This will be like a half chest buffer. We just don't need... Well, that's not true. We actually do need quite a lot of it, but I don't know. For now, I'm a fan of just kind of putting everything on the buffers. Alright, and let's copy these over. Oh, I got stuck inside for a second. There we go, and I'll leave a bit of room just in case we want to expand this further. That is blue science, baby. It is rockin'. One thing I am aware of, though, is that we are completely out of coal, and I actually want to get a proper power source done. Oh, by the way, we can fly. I unlocked mecha flight in between episodes. Just it was honestly by mistake. I was kind of just doing the I was doing the wind turbines, and I was like, oh, I wish I could fly around, and I clicked on it without thinking like, oh, I should do that on camera. That's on me. I'm real sorry. Now, it is marginally, very marginally, more efficient to burn this stuff than it is to burn coal, right? This produces 6.75 megajoules of power at 50% burn efficiency. That efficiency, I think it does apply to, it does not apply to these thermal power plants. It's only for you. These have an 80% efficiency rating regardless. Like, no matter what the resource is, they get a 20% debuff on producing. It's just like a balance thing, I guess. It's a lot more efficient for us to burn this, though. The jury's still out on whether or not we should convert it into energetic graphite and then burn it, because 1 energetic graphite takes 2 coal, and it gives you slightly more energy than coal, and it burns it faster, but I don't know if the energy required to make it into this is worth the bonus speed you get by burning it. I don't know if that makes sense. You get someone smarter than me with the actual ability to perform mathematical equations, please let me know. if that's something I should be doing, because I genuinely have no idea. Alright, let's put this down. We're gonna just, this is gonna be a real quick and dirty, sort of just a quick little furnace setup. And we're just gonna link this together, and this is just gonna be to produce fuel for me. We will need this stuff in fairly huge quantities for other products later, but for now, this is the largely unemployed special stash, okay? Okay, good stuff. We are now producing energetic graphite at quite a rate, 6 per second to be exact. That's, in fact, the exact rate we're producing it at. And we can now go back to what we were doing, which is sorting out our science. I still can't really fly and produce power. That's kind of a long way off. We're going to need some pretty advanced fuel sources to be able to do this, you know, luxuriously, constantly. But now when we walk, we do get power back a lot faster than we did before. It will still not be able to support, I think, 4 drones running at full time. Yeah, we do still need power. All right, we have arrived on the North Pole, as has all of our blue science. And like I said, it looks really cool when it sort of cuts across the planet. And when you get a few of them going, it just looks really cool, I think. Anyway, we're going to grab our labs, and I want to decide where we're going. I think we'll stick them over here. There you go, do like 5 of them, and we're going to stack these pretty tall as they'll go. Actually, oh, I'm doing it again. We should do 1 and then the others. That's the best way to do this. Okay, so you're going to come along here, just like that. And for now, of course, we're just going to have 1 insert. You're going to be consuming science, and we need a power pole for you. Stick that over there. Okay, so 1 of you. Give it some space. 1 of you. Awesome, and we are sucking up the science. Cool. Let's stack these tall so they work a little faster. And now we can start working on some upgrades. Faster. Big time. What do we actually want here, though? We can get some universe exploration so we can see the resources on other planets. That's going to be helpful. I picked up drone engine in between episodes. I thought it was just useful to have some extra drone speed. Inventory capacity, we are going to have to queue up manually. That all requires red science. So looks like we need to start working towards red science. Now, in order to make red science, we are going to need a few things. Where is it? It is over there. Energy matrices. That's what we need to make. So, in order to make energy matrix, we need to unlock plasma extract refining. This guy right over here. Thank you. Where's my Q button? Oh, I need to have liquid encapsulation. Then plasma extract refining, and then probably X-ray cracking, then energy matrix after that. We'll need basic chemical engineering. We won't need deuterium, we won't need proliferators, we can't make them until we can reliably get silicon, because we can't make these things, which require silicon. And the proliferators also require silicon, I noticed. Solar panels need silicon. Crystal smelting requires titanium. Titanium smelting requires titanium. Turns out we don't have any of that. Alright, well, we might as well just research this stuff, even if we can't use it. I mean, you know, like, just to have it, right? Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm going to head back down to the main base. I'm going to get all of these new structures we're about to unlock. For example, like the oil extractor, the storage tanks, the water pumps. I'm going to get all of that producing by our main bus, and then we're going to switch over to making up some oil. Okay, the main base is making all the bits and pieces we need to get this oil refining underway. To start with, we're going to want to place down, you guessed it, some oil refineries. We won't need the water pumps just yet, but I am making them. We also have a bunch of liquid storage. Bang, bang, bang. Sorry, that's not an oil refinery, that's an oil pump. That's what we're starting off with. We start with the pump, we pump it out the ground, we put it in the tank, and then we refine it afterwards. That's how science is. Crazy how nature do that, etc., etc. Search for me here. Liquid encapsulated, very nice indeed. So this thing's going to produce at a rate of 2.5 per second, meaning we would need about 3 of these to saturate one belt. Every crude oil deposit, I guess, is the same, but they roughly average out to 2 per second. So you need 3 of these machines per yellow belt, give or take a few. Now this is actually too far away from where I want to do our build to be useful, but we will eventually be able to modularize all of our builds using the logistics system. So just getting that thing pumping away now is not a bad idea, because we can use it anywhere on the planet once we unlock that. Okay, so our 3 oil wells are plumbed up and pumping. The nifty thing about these tanks is they let you do 90-degree turns, and they also balance out the belt, right? They will just sort of dump as much as they can onto the belt regardless of orientation. I really like that. I think it's super cool. So we're going to want to bring all of our... Well, actually, where do we want to do the refining? Let's have a look at what land... It's a bit dark, I realize. Let's have a look at what land we've got available. There's honestly not much real estate for what I'm looking to do here. We kind of need like a long, wide, flat stretch. This would be ideal if we could pave that in. We might just have to do that. Okay, but let's bring the oil up this way then, I guess. We need to also refine some of this into energized graphite. This is just to get us started on the red science. Let me knock out a little quick one while we're right here. This will just be a half stack of our usual blueprints. This guy over there. We want him facing this way, and we're just going to do half a... Remember, this is for 12 per second. We're just doing 6. So just let me knock out everything on this side. Thank you for grid deconstruct. You are a lifesaver. Plug you in. Plug you in. Let me put on this. And then we got to connect this up to the dang main line here. Okay, cool. That will do the trick. We don't need to worry too much about that's for just at this very second. Let's try and focus on what we're doing over here with the oil refineries. So I'm going to slap down one of these right over here. We will be rebuilding this a couple times. We're going to have sort of like an interim, like an initial one, and then get more complex as time goes on. You're going to be producing plasma refining. This takes 1 crude oil, and in I think it's 4 seconds, I believe. Hold on, let's go back for a second. That is, 2 crude oil every 4 seconds produces 1 refined oil and 1 hydrogen. 2 refined oil, sorry, and 1 hydrogen, which means that every 2 seconds we get 1 refined oil and half a hydrogen. In order to do our red science, this stuff over here, we need to produce energized graphite and hydrogen. Well, there's our energetic graphite, here's our hydrogen. Let's go ahead and get it out. We're going to start off over here. For now, we're just going to burn the refined oil. There are ways to use it later. We're going to take out that one. We're going to take out this one. And these will be different things. This is going to be taking out hydrogen. And this will put the refined oil on. Switch back to that recipe. Alright, cool. And that should just work now, if I'm not mistaken. Take in the oil. Output the things. Again, once you're dragging it out, you just hit tab on one of these inserters to select the recipe. It's super useful, or rather select the filter. Okay, cool, so that's working. What I'm going to do is cut that a bit shorter. We're going to stamp this all the way down. I'm going to make a bunch of these. We're just going to make a bunch of refined oil and burn it, because crude oil is actually an infinite resource in this game. It does not run out, it does not deplete, it does not reduce. It is infinite, truly infinite. Here's a bit of a pro tip, by the way. If you have to do a whole bunch of scale ups and you don't want to have to deal with going back and drawing the line for each one, all you need to do is build a column, or build a conveyor belt in the direction you want it. Actually, no, I think we want to go the other way. In the direction you want it, up at the height you want it, and then it will all just kind of, you can just drag it straight up there. Figure what I mean now. So coming from this position up to there, we can just click the button and it will go ahead and raise itself up. We don't have to tap up or down or anything like that. It just does the work for you. Alright, and then I'm going to temporarily stick that hydrogen in a box. There we go, let's put that in a tank. Why don't you bring you down to ground level? Stick you in a tank. Thank you. And that will just mean that that continues to flow. Hydrogen is actually a very good fuel source. You'll see here it has 9 megajoules of power and 100% fuel chamber generation bonus. The only issue is it only stacks to 20, so you can use it, but it takes up a ton of space in your inventory, and it's not particularly... Yeah, it's not great for, storing, I suppose, is the issue. But it's a very good fuel source. Alright, speaking of very good fuel sources, let's burn this refined oil. It's also a pretty good fuel source, at least compared to the coal. It's not great compared to energized graphite, though. I think it's slightly worse. We can check some out now. But yeah, there's no wrong answers when it comes to fuel in this game. It's kind of just whatever you've got on hand. This will burn at 4.5 megajoules, so a little bit more than coal, and 30% benefit. So yeah, it's like if your options are coal or refined oil, well, refined oil all the way. Alright, this burn plant is way overbuilt for the amount of oil we're producing. I just want to make sure that we are consuming as much of it as possible at any given time, just to make sure we are actually cleaning out this. We want this pipe to keep flowing. I don't want to buffer it because then I have to deal with it later. Because we don't really want this, we just that's a byproduct we want to get rid of for now. What we do want at the moment is a bunch of research. Let's slap down, I'm thinking, I don't even know anymore. Let's do do like 4 of these. These will move as well. This is also temporary. So I'm not going to worry about super efficiency. Oh, I did the thing again. I didn't. I forgot that I'm supposed to do the inserters first. Ah, it's fine. We'll just, for once, we'll just put in the work. You know, we'll stop being so lazy. Maybe. There we go. And that should be able to consume 6 per second. We will find out shortly if I've either over or underbuilt this. Alright, red science is being made. Fantastic. We're going to bring it out of the machines on this belt right over here. Very nice. Thank you for the milestone. And let's go like this. Right over there. Perfect. Okay, now technically the best thing we should unlock right away with our new red science would be X-ray cracking. This allows us to use oil to produce both hydrogen and energetic graphite, but it is quite an involved build, and I'd rather save that for the next episode when we get into like graphene and all these sort of things. In fact, let's go ahead and get those ready. We don't need to worry about that right now. I would like to make hydrogen fuel rods for better, more efficient fuel. And then I'm actually going to, we need to make magnetic levitation technology so that we can switch over to upgrades and we can start upgrading ourselves. Mecha core, yes please. Oh, I need to do that one. Hold on, let me queue up these two. Let's get those done first. It's kind of embarrassing we haven't got those yet. Let's get more drones. Let's get more max energy. There's a bunch of researches we can now get. Okay, this is all locked behind mecha core, I think. Better energy circuit, better drive engine, mecha frame. Queue is full. Okay, so I need to make what is that? What was that? 60 electronic engines, 120 steel, 120 circuits. Cool, cool, cool. The red stuff is flowing. Looks a little janky that way, but it's alright. It's alright. I need to pick up a ton of these. Only 10 in there. Ah, sheesh. Yeah, we might just have to make these ourselves. Give me some of these. Give me some of these, I think. Give me some iron plates. Just pick it all up. And just make me a few of these. This is just make us walk a bit faster. I can't believe we still haven't got this research. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Nice, that's one down. Mechanical frame. Then we just need a bunch of steel and circuits. Well, turns out I know a guy that's got a bunch of both. Nice. Extra line of inventory capacity as well. I think we're just going to burn through the rest of this research before we call that an episode. Not burn through the rest of the episode before we call that a research. That wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? You know what? I would actually like to put in an extra steel smelter here. It's a little slow. Oh! There's our milestone. I might as well talk about foundation in the meantime. So the way it works is you can either paint the floor, and in fact, I think you can switch to like a specific color as well. Not sure how you pick the color. I can't. Oh, there it is. We can make like a purple one. You know, we could paint a purple floor, but I'd rather not do that. So I like to just have it on no foundation visible, and that basically just lets you kind of move the ground without I don't know, painting it as well. So I'd like to add another steel smelter to the mix though. I think just literally adding 25% more production is going to be the kick we need here. Thank you. And you know what? You know what we can do to round this episode off a bit is to make a proper steel plant somewhere. This would be okay for it, but I think we can find some unused iron somewhere. That right there is pretty good. I'd like it to be a little closer to the main base, though. If that is even possible. It doesn't look like it is. There is this vein over here, which could work. Bit of an awkward spot for it. Yeah, let's go down there and do that one. Okay. Okay, in order to make our steel en masse, we have to do a bit of maths. We use 3 iron plates every 3 seconds to make 1 steel. That means, of course, that we are using 1 steel per second. That's going to be our limiting factor. So what we're going to want to do is put down, as we know, we got a 6 per second iron ore input, 1 steel, sorry, I keep doing this, 1 iron ore to 1 iron, we have to use 3 iron per second, see how this is going to go. But we maybe want to give myself a little more space, though. And also definitely not do it over this line. Maybe this wasn't a good spot after all. Maybe we want to go that way? No, you know what we want to do? Is actually bury this coal. I don't need this much coal. I got too much dang coal. Yeah, okay, hold on. We're gonna do it over here. So we have to be able to do 6 smelters for the steel, backed by 6 smelters for the iron, another 6 smelters of the iron, another 6 smelters of the steel, and that's the problem. There you go. We see we get in that one. We're gonna have to bury this coal. I think the easiest way to do that is going to be just dig up some stones, make some stone bricks, make some foundation once we have the steel, and it'll all be fine. Okay, let's feed it in like this. I have a feeling we can go bigger than this. Is my maths all wrong? Well, let's have a look. Let's see how much this consumes. Alright, so you're going to be my steel smelter. We've done this before on a much smaller scale. Not that much smaller, to be completely honest with you. This is also going to be iron. You're going to make the steel. And we just copy and paste the inserters. You go over there, you go over there, you go over there. You go over there, you go over there, you go over there. Why you skew? Get back on track. Come on, get back online. Alright, you go like this. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And suddenly the whole thing's running. Now we do it from here, hit tab. Do it from there, hit tab. Do it from here, hit tab. Do it from there, hit tab. Oh, right, of course. It's gonna be, because we can't do the one, can't do any of them. That's fair, right? That's how that works. Okay, give me 2 foundation, and I'll show you what we can do with this. So we want to switch to vein bury mode. Pick one there. Pick one there. And now, suddenly, we can do it. The veins are still there. We can unbury them later if we remember. But that'll work for the moment. I don't know. I feel like I can squeeze more out of this. Although, no. We are running a complete line here. Like, this is a full belt that's being consumed by the time it gets to the end. Okay, no, this is 6 per second. That's looking good. Never mind, I take it all back. Build is a little messy, so I'm not actually going to blueprint it. I think I'll stamp out like an equivalent one somewhere else, and then I'll blueprint that. But I am going to want to stockpile a lot of steel. This is something we're going to want a ton of, and it's very slow to make. We're probably going to have more than one steel foundry around the planet. But right now, we just need one close to the base that we can work with. Oh, sorry, that is the noise of my electricity switching off. If you don't know, the South African power grid is much like the power grid in the game, struggling, that is, and we have sort of state-mandated periods of blackout. I've got a battery that runs my PC for a little bit, but I do need to wrap up this episode there, just as well. I mean, we're pretty much done. Okay, cool. So what did we get done today? We built a steel mill. We built, let's go have a look. We built a polar research hub. That's pretty cool. You can see it sticking up over the horizon over there. Switch off the HUD. Very nice. We built ourselves blue science, as well as the circuits and foundries to go with it. We expanded into oil manufacture, and we got a very primitive oil setup going here, just to kind of peter out a few red blocks whenever we need them. What's the holdup here? What's the holdup, sir? Yeah, we're just not burning the refined oil fast enough. But that's, you know what? That's actually not that much of a problem. This is completely temporary. Everything about this will be deleted at some point. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about all this. Thank you all, everybody, so much for watching. I do need to go ahead and end the episode there. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Cheers. And of course, a huge thank you to our channel members and patrons for this month. You guys rock. Kelly Ananas, Call Me Bo 82, Old Man Tater, Sir Tristan H, Knee Cruncher, Riley David, The Senate, Richard Berry, Sleep Deprived Sam, Arrivo, Charlie Weber, Murmix, Officer C4, Not K Arthur, Rob, Adachi Fanboy, LCG Canyon Sahar, Dreadnought Us, Jack Smallman, Cut Beef Go Ham, Jan the Pan, Prethan Parush, Ragnar Skull Crew, I'm Alpha, you damn right I'm not. Badass Beast, Depoyo 44, Kilithausa, Raija, Mr. King, Cairo, and Couch Potato. Thank you all very much.